And I always like to have esteemed guests, people who are doing great things for the Milwaukee area, people who inspire, enlighten, and really just make our lives and our community much better. And joining me this afternoon, we have Willie Jude II. He is a Vice Chancellor at UW Parkside. And it is so nice to talk to you, Willie. How are you doing today?
I am doing amazing, Carole. Thank you for allowing me to join you on this segment. I think I've been nervous about this segment. I'm so excited, but I'm doing well. Every day that we're here is an opportunity. And so I truly feel blessed each and every day.
Oh, well, there's no need to be nervous because we're just among friends. And the best thing about it is that these are just like it's informal chat. So we like to really share information and really, give people a little break from their lives and just think about people who are really doing the job really of uplifting and the grassroots work. So in the academic world, Willie, I guess it's probably a little challenging these days given the COVID and going virtual and in class. How difficult has that been for you?
Well, it's been difficult, but we have an amazing staff under the leadership of our Chancellor, Debbie Ford. The faculty and the staff have banded together to ensure that we provide the best experience possible for our students. And so, one word that I can use is resilience. Resilience, because our students are amazing. And you never know what our students are dealing with or that we're dealing with in our daily lives. And then you add on a pandemic to it, and it just kind of exacerbates some of the issues and the ills that are happening. But we know that education is important, and we know that we have to be, should I say, we need to be a consistent presence, have a consistent presence in our community. And we were committed to forging through and providing opportunities, access, and equity in our education and our practices. So we had to pivot. Around here, they call it the Parkside pivot. We had to pivot often. But when you work with a great team who are energized and really want to serve our students, it makes the work easy. So this has definitely been a challenge, but we've continued to forge through and just support each other on the way. Have some compassion, have empathy. That's important during these times.
I love to hear the humanity in what you're talking about because I think sometimes these days that's lost. So that says a lot about UW Parkside and you, Willie, to be able to speak in those terms. Can I ask you now? I know you're from Milwaukee, and how excited, because I know you've been all over the country in various jobs. How exciting is it to come back home as Vice Chancellor of UW Parkside?
Carole, it is pretty surreal. It's surreal. I've literally been in higher education my entire career. And so I guess I love college so much that I never left. I decided to stay. And so my journey has taken me from Wisconsin to Iowa to the state of Washington to North Carolina, Missouri, Tennessee. And so to be able to come back home to Wisconsin, to Southeast Wisconsin, to the University of Wisconsin Parkside, and to serve in the system that gave, that the degree that I earned from the University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, it's amazing. If you would have asked me this during my time as a student and as a student athlete, would I be a vice chancellor? I would have just said, no, I don't see myself as a leader or as an administrator in higher education. And so it feels good to come home and serve my community. As you mentioned, I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised, proud son of Willie and Patricia Jude, and Sherman Park area is my home, my section of town, right? A Milwaukee Madison High School graduate, Golda Meir Elementary, Samuel Morse Middle School, right? And so to be able to come back in my community and just try to make a difference, I've had enjoying my time serving the other communities across the country, but to come home to the great state of Wisconsin and come home to my state and serve at UW Parkside is fulfilling a dream that I didn't even know was real, right? To be able to provide education and access and open up the opportunities, because quite often we just don't know what we can do. And I've had people throughout my career that have shown me something that I didn't see in myself. And not only were mentors, but sponsors brought me along, didn't give up on me too early. And so I feel it's my duty to be able to come back and utilize education, as Nelson Mandela would say, as a powerful weapon to change the world and just try to do my part one day at a time.
You know what? You sound like you could be a politician, Willie.
No,
I'm
no,
listening to
no.
you. I'm like, "Whoa." I'm mesmerized. Very impressive. You know, we hear so much about the negatives of MPS, and I'm glad you mentioned that because you are a proud product, successful product of MPS, and there's some great things happening at Milwaukee Public Schools, and sometimes those get overlooked, and we have to remember those.
Yes, my entire family and my siblings are graduates of MPS, Milwaukee Vincent, Rufus King, Milwaukee Washington, myself at Milwaukee Madison, affectionately known as the Madhouse, right? But we believe in the power of education. I'm
Yeah.
a son of an educator. My father was a principal, was my principal for 1 year.
Oh,
In
wow, that had to be fun. Now, how hard is that?
it was interesting because he never stops moving. Anyone who knows Willie Jude, he believes in safety first and education always, and he builds relationships. And so he was everywhere. So I would hear an occasional "Get to class, young man," and I'll just run the other way. I tried to avoid and just stay out of trouble. But he and my mother just impressed the importance of education and the value of education. And so regardless of where you are, we have a duty. You can read, you can always pick up the book, read something, access it, but give your best. Give all that you can because we stand on the shoulders of greatness. My grandparents didn't have that opportunity. The book my dad had growing up in his house was the Bible until pretty much eighth grade. And so we saw it, my siblings and I saw it as our duty to be able to not only go to school for our parents and for our grandparents, but see how we can make the most with this opportunity because it's not afforded to everybody, although it should be in this time, but it's just not the reality. So being able to use our platform coming from the city and being able to come back in this position and talk to the students and let them know I'm from the same place that you are and you have greatness inside of you. And if I can do it, anyone can do it because I took the long way, in higher education. I've worked literally uh, in every segment of campus, from athletics, advancement, which is my current title, Vice Chancellor for University Advancement and Alumni Affairs. But I've also worked in student affairs and enrollment management, which gives me a total appreciation for what happens on a college campus. But I'm trying to show individuals if you can identify your passion early, how can we set up those opportunities for you and push you in the right direction? So I would love to be a career advisor so you don't make the same mistakes that I've made.
Well, we
But
all have, but you're good.
right,
I love that. Yeah, but the thing is, sometimes that journey makes you stronger and better, and like you said earlier, resilient, Willie.
yes, the journey, there's ups and downs. Higher
Yes.
education, you have to learn people, right? And every institution, every college campus is a unique ecosystem, right? Each environment is different. When you're at a Washington State University, you have a research one institution, an HBCU like North Carolina Central University, or even a regional comprehensive university like UW Parkside. Every culture is different. Every expectations, leaders have different, agendas and initiatives that they want to push. So having the opportunity to kind of learn people has been amazing, right? But I wouldn't trade it for the world because I didn't have a specific direction, but I knew I had a spirit of service from volunteering and how can I just help? Regardless of my job, I've tried to just do the best that I can and help people and really invest in people, which takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy when
It
you're
does,
investing.
but it's so rewarding, it really. But
Rewarding.
Willie, you have to be proud to you're blessed to have had parents that instilled these values in you and your family. I mean that because not everybody gets that, as we know.
No, I don't think I could thank them enough just for the stability, right? The encouragement, the love, introducing us to family, helping us travel, but knowing that you're going to have those two individuals. My parents have been rocks and pillars, and I don't take it for granted. I think my eyes were opened up when I volunteered, or actually, I was working in the summer at a foster care shelter. And in my mind, I thought everyone went home just like I went home. We never missed a meal. We always saw my parents every day. They just treat us with that love and that environment that you think just everybody has. And when I
No.
realized that wasn't the fact, I have an even greater appreciation. And sometimes, when you move further away and you can only see them twice a year, you
Yeah.
build that fondness and you really see, wow, I've been blessed beyond measure between Willie and Patricia Jude. And so, they've continued to be there and be pillars for me and for so many others. And so I guess I'm modeling the behavior, right? And just trying to make sure that I don't let them down.
Well, I can always tell, I've interviewed thousands of people over my long career, being the age I am, but I can always tell people that have had that foundation and that love, and you can just, and it exudes in you. So I have to say that great job, Willie and Patricia, your mom's mom and dad, great job. So now, okay, Willie, is there anything like for those of us, and I've been to UW Parkside, I haven't been there recently, but a lot of people may have some misconceptions about the college and the campus there. And can you share some of the secrets about why it is a special place to Southeastern Wisconsin and why we all should get to know UW Parkside?
And thank you. Yes, UW Parkside is an amazing institution. And we're amazing because of our distinct mission. We are a comprehensive UW institution. We're only 20 minutes from the airport. I like to say that because I've lived far from the airport and some other places, like a 2-hour drive, right?
This is bonus.
We're 20 minutes from the airport, 30 minutes from downtown Milwaukee, and about 55 minutes to Chicago as well. But our mission is unique as how we were founded. We were founded in 1968 by the community, right? There were iterations of UW regional campuses that existed, but there was not a comprehensive that existed in between Kenosha and Racine, or Racine and Kenosha, depending where you live, right? To serve the community. If we're going to uphold the Wisconsin ideal, which means paraphrasing that the university is supposed to reach out to the community, provide education and opportunities for all those around, there was that void. And there were a lot of community members and working with the UW system to establish UW Parkside in 1968. And 50 plus years later, we're continuing to serve. We serve 60% of our students are first generation.
Wow.
60%. And we're over 35% of students of color, making us percentage-wise the most diverse campus within the UW system. And so we're giving individuals a chance and an opportunity for education, which might not necessarily be the traditional choice. When we talk with Parkside alums who are amazing, we hear often, if not for Parkside, providing that opportunity for pre-health. Our pre-health program, 90% placement rate into professional programs, 90%. That's pretty high, right? That's pretty
awesome.
high. We have other signature programs, which include our business, which is AACSB accredited, and then also, which is also a top 10 institution for our MBA, fastest growing MBA. Yes, but we find a way to provide the students an experience. We major in our students so they can have the academic experience, which is 100% of our classes are taught by faculty. So you will get to know your instructor. I love to say everyone supports a winner, right? And the best faculty want to work with the best students. The best students want to be challenged and groomed by the best faculty. So they know that we have 100% of our classes are taught by faculty. We have a 17-to-1 faculty to student ratio, but then we also encourage our students to have, we call them high impact practices, which can be internships, teacher fellowships, or things of that nature, to have that fully and enriched curriculum and enrich them. So when they leave, when they graduate, they go on to make the world a better place. We love to say the world needs more Parkside graduates. And so we continue to move. We've had the last 2 years, we've had record graduation commencement exercises. So we're really excited. And we've been able to move the needle when we're looking at graduation rates. Because historically, from when we were inception, we were around 25%, right? We're just going to put the numbers out there. But now we're, 40s up to mid 40s with graduation rates, because we have a bold goal of 50%. And that's led with our chancellor, with our provost, and we're going to continue to push, because in my opinion, 50%, that's not good enough, right? 50% is not good enough when we're providing those opportunities for students. And so we're going to continue to work closely with our entire team to provide access and opportunities for our students. We recently received our second largest gift in school history from the Callahan.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I usually ring a bell for that and maybe do a little.
Who was that from?
And that's from the Callahan family: Patsy Callahan, Andy Callahan, and Crystal Callahan. And the significance of the gift is that they created the Callahan Scholars, which is a scholarship for students from Kenosha County that provides them with not only a $5,000 scholarship, and our tuition is $7,500 a year, so a $5,000 scholarship, a student success coach, and then also access to high impact practices and having resources for it. So we have a success coach that meets with them bi-weekly, and really have that invasive, intrusive approach to making sure our students get to and through graduation, because I've quickly learned that there's a lot of time that happens when the students aren't in class. And to have someone, and I'll use an athletics reference, a coach that is vested in you, in athletics, the coaches, they're vested because they need these students to be eligible and to be healthy, mentally healthy, and physically healthy. And so they can play because it's a wins. And so what if we all, and I'm saying that we're not doing it, but I approach it, I treat all of our students like star athletes. I rejoice and have on many signing day when they say, yes, we're going to choose UW Parkside, because when you arrive at Parkside, you will actually see me. You will see the administration. We are visible. And that's something that helped differentiates us from a lot of institutions.
Wow.
But we're about 4,500 students. We sit on 700 acres, but we are only about 5 minutes away from the grocery store. So we're really close. It's like an oasis in the middle of a metropolitan area.
And it sounds like a lot of good individualized attention to the students. And those of us who went to big universities, I was taught by mainly teaching assistants and barely could see half of the professors. So I really value what's going on, what you're talking about. Well, now, what sport did you used to play? I know you were an athlete.
Ooh, so in high school, I played football, basketball, track and field, and one year I lettered in tennis.
So you're a true jock. Is that fair to say?
Through and through. My parents are athletes. My father was a college athlete. My mom has always been athletic. And so all of my siblings, competed in high school sports, and 3 out of 4 of us competed in college as well. So it makes for a pretty competitive house.
But what you learn in sports is good in life. These are life skills that you're sharing. So how awesome are you? Oh, I love that. I like people that can, as you say, pivot and use their experiences toward helping and lifting others.
Yes, and athletics kept me engaged. You have to find something that I say challenges my entire skill set, and more so on the mental aspect. It teaches you how to work with the team. It teaches you humility, right? Because although you want to win every time, it's not going to happen. But it's how you approach it, right? How do you approach it, and how do you go about the work that happens that's not on the actual day of competition, is when you're actually making gains and making success. And so it definitely translates into the professional career with working with individuals from diverse backgrounds. I worked in, as a student athlete in high school, and then I actually finished competing at the University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh, where I ran track and played football there as well. But I still have many of those same friends, but I had to learn a lot. Right. There was a learning curve, learning how to work with everybody, having the repetition, staying locked, and really building that trust with someone you really don't know all that well, but we have this common goal, this shared goal. And so, yeah, athletics has, literally changed my life, because I was going to school. That was a given. Education, we needed to be great. I used to, we're scholars, and we have an expectation. We're supposed to do certain things, but that gave me that extra nudge. Right, because all my friends were athletic, were athletes.
I love what you're saying and how you're expressing yourself. Willie, I'm going to take a quick second because we have people that are excited about you. I see someone says #inspire, #enlighten. Stephanie Rome, one of the comments that I'm seeing here, and she also says safety first, education always. Team Jude. So and by the way, if you're just joining us, I am talking. That's wonderful. I'm talking to Willie Jude II. He is Vice Chancellor at UW Parkside. He is an MPS. He went to MPS schools, and he's been all over the country actually working in academia. And now he's back home, lending his talents and skills to our area and really helping people. And Will, I have to give you credit because, there's a lot of people who aren't able to, when they have to move a lot, they find that impossible. But I can see that you've taken the positive of that, because like you say, every institution, every place is different. But as you mold and grow, it's a beautiful experience to see how everybody can come together. And really, we're all the same, no matter where we are. Does that make sense?
That makes sense 100%. We have so many things that really unite us, right? And we're always looking for divisions. But I've learned that cultural differences exist in regions just as much as everything else. Nashville was very different from Durham, North Carolina, which was very different from Jefferson City, Missouri, right? And so I took each opportunity to really feel how can I learn as much as possible from the cultures and from the experiences, and then from the university as well. And there are ways that, build lifelong friendships and just continue to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. I like adventure. The travels helped me find my wife, Carole. So when I was at North Carolina
Aw.
Central University, when I met, then at the time, Joy Nunnally. And so now being able to travel, and she's been on this journey with me, and I couldn't do what I'm doing without having someone equally as excited about education. She's a K-12 educator, math teacher, so I can never help her. I'm sorry.
So she's obviously smart, right?
Really, really, really smart. Just completed her EDS recently and has a master's from Tuskegee University, and then also Georgia State from Atlanta, Georgia. But, having someone that I can share that passion for education with in the house, and then make sure we share that same passion with our daughters. I'm a girl dad. I have to say that all the time. I have 3 beautiful daughters. So there's never a dull day or night in the Jude household. But moving from place to place, you learn a little bit of something, right? You learn something. And what can I take on into my professional career to help just be a better leader? And leaders invest in the people. If you invest in the people, the work will work itself out, but people just want to feel like they're supported, like their voice is heard. And I just realized all of the experiences that I have, because there's not really, we were looking at a slide that said, this is what bad leadership looks like, right? And I remember I raised my hand. I said, I don't know about anybody else, but I think I've been each one of these traits, because we grow, right?
We have to learn. We learn and we evolve. And that's what we do.
You have to evolve. If you're staying in the same place, then we haven't learned very much. And so give yourself some grace and be able to say, yes, I've grown and I've learned, and continue to grow and pour into people so you can create, healthy teams. Start with trust. If there's an absence of trust, which is from the 5 dysfunctions of a team with Patrick Lencioni, if you don't have that base level of trust, then you will never achieve any of the goals that you want. You may have some quick success, but there'll be turmoil along the way. And so I really believe in just spending that time building relationships, right? And then getting to know their why. It took me a long time to figure out my why, but now if I can learn the why of my team, then I can help put them in positions for success. That's a big example that I've learned from teamwork, is putting individuals in a place that they can experience success, as opposed to trying to, always, I won't say always work on their weaknesses. How about that?
Well, I love the fact that you're honest about the fact that you didn't always know everything. And there are a lot of people who can't do that. And you said you learned your why. It took a long time. Is your why, Willie?
My why is a passion to give back and provide access to education for anyone who wants it, right? I traveled the world. I've traveled the country. I've been to 44 states now, traveled 10 plus countries across the world. And I realized I have a passion to serve. And I feel like my lane and my gifts, well, one, I think my superpower is showing up, right, wrong, or indifferent. I may not be the best, but I'm going to give you my entire effort.
Amen. That's half the battle. You got to be there.
I will give you everything that I have. I will give you everything that I have to do it. But I really feel a passion and give individuals opportunities, because I see that, I've grown up with and been blessed, right? And I think I was really, running from my father's shadow, right? I think I've lived all over the country because I'm not sure what I want to do, but, I didn't want to just say I was going to follow his footsteps or he was this or that. And I realized people would love to have that. And once I kind of, my friend Earl and I had a conversation about our parents and how we were always running from the shadow versus embracing it. And once I was able to embrace it and realize I'm actually a lot like them in a lot of ways, by being able to go into tough situations, turn them around, and I'm energized by being the underdog, but then also continue to provide opportunity to serve in the community, and then also provide education, and then help people work through it. Because when they're able to go to class, that's not that bad, but sometimes you don't know you just don't know what you don't know. And how can I be a resource? And so that's my why. So regardless of where I am, regardless of what my title has said, in any job, I've still always tried to volunteer, serve in the community, and then also provide a level of service and scholarship to just help students out.
Well, Willie Jude II, I could listen to you all day. You are phenomenal. We are so excited to have such a dynamic leader in our area. It is good that you're back home because we need you. We really do. I mean, I need to see people like you. You've watched the news.
Yeah,
And it can be very difficult, but you're to celebrate, and you're a gift to Southeast Wisconsin. We're happy that you're here and thankful to UW Parkside for seeing talent and realizing it. So thank you for being my guest this week. And for all of you out here listening, you are welcome every Wednesday at 12:30, and you'll meet more people like Willie Jude II at UW Parkside, a Milwaukee native. Thank you so much. Thanks, Willie. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week at 12:30.
Thank you.